Good morning, fishy people. I'm Alan Norris from FishOn TV. It is Wednesday, the 16th of August, and I've just arrived at the King's Chamber for the draw of Qualifier 9 for the Feederking Southfield Reservoir. There are 2 qualifiers left. To qualify for the final, you've got to win your zone of 20. There are 3 zones of 20, some on the canal bank and all the rest on the east bank. Again, you've heard this before. Don't think it really matters too much where you get drawn. It's so unpredictable. The Moody Mistress, Meerkat Manor, Watterlick Reservoir. I've been Watterlick there more times than any other place ever. But this year, there's been quite a few fish coming out. All, having said that, the bream that they were catching earlier, there's not too many of those big bream showing anymore. There's a lot of, they'll call them peckers down here, skin bobs, roach, and there's eels coming out. In fact, there's a local that I got talking to down there. He's been fishing it 30 years. He said, if there's still eels coming out, there's no bream. Don't know. He's been fishing it 30 years, so who knows, folks, who knows, but they all count. If you're catching eels, they all count. So let me get to the King's Chamber, say hello to all the boys. Let's see where we get drawn. We'll get on the bank and see how we get on today. It's a sunny day today, it's a calm day today, not ideal for bream fishing. What I will say is I'm going to approach it a bit different today. I'm going to feed it a bit different today and see if that works, because everything else I try just doesn't seem to work. It's brilliant in practice when you go for a little practice session, empty it. Fish exactly the same in a big match and it don't work. It don't matter what size hook, line you put on, baits, how you feed it, compared to when you turn up for a pleasure day, it just doesn't work. So let's get there. Let's hope we're dropping a few fish wherever I get drawn. Let's enjoy the day. It's going to be a lovely day. It'll be suntan lotion on today, I think, by the look of it. But I don't know what it is with Southfield. I just love coming to Southfield Reservoir. Always a good crack on the bank. I thoroughly enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to this round. Let's see if we can get qualified this time. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to say for a good peg. Fingers crossed for an absolute boatload of fish smack in front of me. Get in. See you at the draw.
Before me, if you have queued up. I'm having last peggy bag, I'm going on this peg. No, look, he's not having one before me. It's you. You're right, now.
45.
45, what name is it?
Oh no. Peg 45, got Rob Wotton to my right, and that peg there, just here. Don't know this guy's name to my left, and I'm sure I'll soon find out. As you can see, not ideal conditions. Look at that. So, two lines I've decided on, 42.60. That's it. You've seen the bait before. It's just ground bait, dead reds, some live maggots, some casters, some chopped worm. I've got some red worms. I've got some dendras, and I'm just going to be really patient today. I don't think I think they'll spook easy as anything, so I'm just going to chuck in and leave it. Wait for a bite. I don't see point in piling loads in. I'm going to do pre-bait it, obviously prime the lines, and then I'm just going to be really patient for the whole match and just see. Don't know, I haven't decided on how long. We'll just see what happens bite wise. I'll make my mind up how long I'm actually going to leave it in. So there we go, suntan cream on, and we'll see how we get on during the day. So we'll catch you guys during the match. Right, I haven't looked to see how far in we are, but I've two skimmers. Rob's got one about £1.5, a skimmer and a little roach. And this one feels like a better fish. I'm hoping it's a skimmer like Rob's. Not sure yet. On my 42 metre line, looks like Rob's fishing 45 to 47, not sure. It's hard to tell, he's just a bit in front of me for a short line. Hey? No, I don't think so. The big one there. And Trev's got a big bream. Yeah. Oh, there we go, folks. I think that's a tad smaller than Rob's, but it's all right. We'll take that. A guy up from me, Trev they call him. Two up from me. He thought he got an eel on. No, it's an eel, he's saying. It's a £4 plus bream he's just had. Hopefully, this is another one about the same size. Might be a bit small. It don't feel quite as heavy. But a fish is a fish in here, obviously. Rob's just swinging a roach in. Ah, starting to feel a bit heavier now, this. It's about the same size, maybe actually a little bit bigger, folks, maybe a tad bigger. Right, 1:15, we finish at 4. Is it 1:15? Yeah, 20 to 1, just leaving. And Trev's had another one. I think it's hard to tell from it, about £2.5, and another skimmer. We think he's got about £8 to £9 at the minute, which is really good considering weather. I can't believe it. I thought £9 or £10. I thought it'd be £9 or £10 to be winning zone today with this weather. It's not perfect at all. I've just put a couple of feeder fulls at 60. Just top that up. I'm back on the 42 metre line. Just having a look. I think Rob's had another skimmer about £1 or so, £1.5. There's not a lot between me and Rob, but he's doing really well. That's your little update. I don't know the guy's name to my left. Oh, little tug there. That's probably a small fish. It's only a small one, this. Little skimmer. Millions of fry in front of us, millions. I'll tell you what is annoying, them cobwebs. Little spider on end and web around your neck and your eyes and here, there and everywhere. It's a song, isn't it, that? Little skimmer. Yes. Right, there's an hour and 15 minutes left. We think Trev has got 10 or 11 pound. The guy to my left thinks he's about 5. I've got 7 fish, I don't know what they'll weigh. Could be 4 at a push. I think Rob's got about 6 maybe. But bites have been a premium for the last hour or so. I had a look long, I had one skimmer long. The problem we've been having, I don't know whether you can see, but my tip's right in the water. Because of the high pressure, your braid's coming to the top and it's putting a big bow and a big bend in your tip. Well, it's eventually gone round. Just in front of where I've been putting all my bait. And before I had a big liner. I think there's some bigger fish out there somewhere, so I'm hoping something might turn up. I don't often get liners on here. Oh, shot off. My landing net pole is red hot. Absolutely red hot. It'll burn in my hands, that. Can't get this bloody hook out. That will never coming off. And they've all been hooked beautifully, so everything must be sat right. So we'll give that one another go. A couple of wriggly maggots. Oh, you bloody thing. I took my gigs off. Can't bloody see properly then. I had a liner again. I've gone, like I say, I've gone short. It's definitely a better fish. It's not a big bream or anything, but I think there's bigger ones out there as well, I'm sure. Because I've never had liners here before, and I've had 2 today. Only in the last 10 minutes. The tip's not moved all, well, for the last couple of hours really. Let's see if we can get this in. This feels like a better skimmer. There we go. And I'm sure there's bigger out there than this. That has really taken it as well. Good grief, can't even see hook. Ah, good grief. That tells me they're having a feed. Right, let's get back in, folks. I looked into another one. Trev's had a couple of £1 skimmers. I think he's won it as Trev. He's got to have £12. Little skimmer this. Probably last fish of the day, probably last cast of the day. It's got to be time soon. Oh, that's just bumped off. You bloody thing. Right then folks, we'll chuck this one back in. Hey, bumped him off. Never mind. Wowzers, that was a toasty one. Very warm. Good grief, Penfold. Very, very warm indeed. Flat calm, not ideal. Braid floating, everybody's had that problem. Peg 45. I fancied it for a few fish, and I've had a few fish. Got Rob Wotton to me right. He's half decent. I've got Roger to my left, don't know his surname, Roger, sorry, and Trev Parkin. Trev Parkin's fished an absolute blind. He's caught them at 18 metres. I would have never thought in a million years in these conditions you'd have got him. He's had his £4 bream and maybe I think he's had a 2.5er. And then towards the end he's had some decent skimmers as well. All short, nearly all his fish short. I can't believe it, that's unbelievable. Well done, Trev. He's weighed in £11.5. Rob thought he'd got £8. But when he told me he'd had a skimmer, a couple of skimmers at about £1, I'm thinking they're more than £1. And the war, he's had £11 too. So we think he's probably come third in the match. If not, he's definitely won his section. So well done, Rob. He's fished a nice tidy. He's fished at 50 metres, and I'm guessing the other line it looked at about 30, something like that. He's definitely been more patient today than when I read his write-up last time. So he's done the biz today, just missing out. He's got to come back for qualifier 10. How have I gone on? 42 metres was one line and 60 metres the other. It was almost impossible to fish 60 with the braid doing what it was doing, which I did have a fish on it, but the tip was bent. It was just a nightmare. So I've pretty much fished one line all day. I've come a little bit shorter when I've had 2 liners today, which I've never done on here before. Come a bit short, I've had a couple of skimmers. I think there were some bigger fish there as well, but I never hooked into one. So I've ended up with 10 fish for £5.12. Roger to my left had £4 something. Rob had £11. Trev, the next peg downs, won the zone with £11.5. So Trev, you are our zone's mightiest fisherman. Well done, son. So one more go for me, qualifier 10. I'm at the UK Champs tomorrow with Woody. Oh, baits today, red worm, 2 bits of red worm, and live maggots was the best baits today. Swapping and changing, those were the 2 where I seem to get most bites from. So there you go, just a bit of info for you. Picking your lines. I couldn't tell you which lines are the best. Today 18 metres was in our zone, and then another kid said that he's had all his bites at 60 metres. But he had the problem that we were having. So I really do think it's a case of pick your lines, make sure all your terminal, the end bit is all as it should be, accurate casting. Then it's down to how much do you feed. That's personal choice. Heavy feeding some days might work, hardly any feed other days might work. So it's just a case of pick your lines, keep it tidy, keep accurate, and just hope you get it right on the day. That's all you can do. You can only do your best. Alright, good morning fishing people. I'm Alan Norris from FishOn TV. It is Wednesday the 30th of August, and it is the final last chance saloon, the final qualifier for the Feederking. So last chance saloon, going down to the King's Chamber now. And the draw's in about 15 minutes time. I'm 5 minutes away, so that's why I'm doing this now. Today I think the wind's going to be blowing into the bank and the which is ideal. Again, what lines do you fish? Where are the fish going to be? It's getting to that time of year where I think a few more fish might be coming into the reservoir now. Certainly within the next month or so we might see 1 or 2 more, September, October. So qualifying weights and match winning weights has been around sort of 11 to 15 pounds. I think if you get 15 pounds in your zone, you should have a mighty chance of qualifying.
Morning.
Morning. Yeah, see you, Charlie.
Don't know, mate. Go and stand out there, you'll find you'll feel it.
Right, I've drawn. It's either the same peg or next to it. I think I was 65 last time. I'm on peg 64 this time. The wind's blowing the other way. There's been quite a few fishing on end peg 70. It won the last 2 qualifiers, so he's struggling to beat that, but the wind is different this time. So Keithy boy, so we'll Keith Clifton, just been talking to Keith. He's at drawn peg 12, wind's blowing in. Good luck, matey. You've got to fancy it from peg 12 there. Rob Wotton. So we'll see how we get on, folks. Peg 64. I think I had about 2.5–3 pound last time. It were hard work. There were 3.5 pound to me left, and oh boy, had a couple of big bream right at the end, and he had 9 pound. But he'd not got much more than me until those last 2 fish in the last 15–20 minutes. So don't know what to expect. Last time I was in that area, I saw the bream past 20 metres, which is where I'm going to have my short line, so about 22 metres. I'm going to put some bait there. I'll probably put quite a bit of bait there to what I normally would, and leave it and fish long for a good hour and a half, and then I'll have a look. I'm not going to feed it heavy on the long line. Maybe a couple of feeder fulls and go over top, have some short casts to start with to build the peg up, and take it from there, folks. Again, that area, 10 to 15 pound to qualify. I don't know how good it's fishing at the minute, but 15 pound. I think if you had 15 pound as your target, you've got to fancy your chances with 15 pound, big time. But anything over 10, they'll give you half a chance unless more fish have moved in. So they've been catching a lot of small stuff with 1 or 2, the odd bream coming out. So we'll see, folks. The usual baits, your maggots and casters, and a bit of corn for a bit of colour, ground bait, red worms and dendras. So you're not allowed to use pellets here. 50cm hook length below the feeder. So yeah, I think with this wind, it's getting up now, is this wind. I'm going to stick with those lines, 22–42, and keep it as accurate as I can. So we shall see you down on the bank, folks. Right, peg 64. I'm pretty sure I was on this one here. Can't really remember. Peg 64. I've chucked 1 bomb out just to have a look, see how much tow was on it, but I've not chucked any bombs out to sort of test the bottom. I know what it's like around here. Fished it last time. So I have gone for the 22 metre line and the 42 metre line. I've picked my targets, so pretty much here and here. I'll probably go to the left a little bit, so maybe there and there. Dead simple feeder fishing. Rods I've got set up. Here we go. I've got 11-foot Parabolics Black Edition with a Preston Extremity 520 010 braid. That's for the 22 metre line. 42 metre line, I've gone for the MAP Parabolics SUV Black Edition again with a 5 620 extremity, and oh no, that's the Guru Pulse braid bait up rod. I've got the 620 extremity. I'm just going to use this to keep refeeding my short line. This is a spare one, exactly the 12-foot parabolics SUV with 620 extremity on pulse. The Guru Pulse 8, I think it is, braid. That's just as backup. I've also got it set up at 50 if I decide I want to change lines, but that's just before I came. So that is basically backup for that one. Hopefully there'll be no accidents. The wind's just dropped a little bit, but it's supposed to be quite breezy today. Let's hope there's a chop on it. Just one, I heard somebody behind me then. Baits. Oh, I dropped some maggots in there by accident and they're trying to get out. So I've got live maggots, casters, dead reds, that's my ground bait. I've got a bait up, that's for my bait up. Oh, that's for me, look at that. John Hopes, a cameraman, photographer extraordinaire, has brought me that round to have with me. Cup of coffee before the match. Lovely jubbly, thank you very much, John Hopes. Few casters, they were floating casters, so they'll be slow sinkers, I would have thought. Let them dry out, get crispy. I've caught on caster here before. Bit of corn, I like a bit of corn when I'm bream fishing, always do. My hook changes. That's for Monkey, and that's for me. What an idiot. Oh, and this, all my little bits and bobs and stopwatch. Tackle Tidy has got me this. I know there's 3 on there, but hopefully I'll be just filling that up to 100. That'd be lovely. Can't see that. I mean, I've got some red worms and dendras. I'm going to chop some worm up now. And call this guy here that's had me Wayne. I don't know his surname. So end peg 70s. Oh, let's have a look. He's up there, but the wind is blowing. Like I said, it's coming that way. So as you can see, it's that way. So I would have thought the corner pegs, canal bankish, might be okay down there. Maybe. But you never know with Southfield. So that's it, I'm all ready. I've just my up lengths to put on, camera to set up, and then we're away in about 20 minutes or so. So we'll see you during the match. We're in, I've had a couple of little jabs and end at worm. Rips a tiny little fish, I think. It's gone round, I think it's a better skimmer. Yes. I've been a bit more patient. Just leaving it in for up to 12-13 minutes a cast. There we go. He's got to be 10 ounce or something. The guy to my left's had 2 skimmers and a perch. He reckons we're about 6 ounce a piece. So just changed to a little window feeder and putting a bit of sloppy ground bait in. No feed, because there's enough bait out there. Doesn't feel like there's loads of fish out there at the minute, folks. So holding back with the feed, putting a bit of chot worm in now and again. I'm going to put a little bit of chot worm in this time. And just be patient again. Out it goes. I did have an indication on one at cast pretty much straight away, but again it was a little roach. The end of the worm was chomped. I got that one on 3 dead reds, so let's see if we can get back out there. On the money, that one. Bang on the money. It's quite a bit of tow today. I thought there would be, so I've got a 2 ounce tip in. It's just about right. There we go. back fishing. That bite came after 8 minutes, just over 8 minutes, 8 minutes and 10 seconds. One skimmer. I did have a bite. I didn't realise, I couldn't even tell I got a fish on it. It was a little roach about that big, it just fell off. 2/3 at weighing. Couldn't even tell it was on, folks, so we're off the mark. Trying to keep it as accurate as I can. I've had 2 slightly wayward cast, but when I say wayward, I'm on about a yard or so from my marker. It looks like a yard. So if I've done that, I'm only leaving it 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll go back out, put it exactly where I want it, where my feed is. I put 4 feederfuls like that out to start with, and then I've fished with one of those for about 4 casts. Then I've gone to a little window feeder. I don't want to put loads of volume of bait out there, just leave bits of bait on bottom. It just don't feel like there's loads and loads of fish, like big shoals or anything, so don't want to be filling them up too much, do we? So there we go, we're off the mark. Could do with about 12 or 15 of them. That'll give you a right chance. I've just topped the short line up. I put 5 feederfuls short with quite a bit of chopped worm, a few casters in short, and I've just put 2 more out, one with a bit of feeding, one without, and there's a decent bream being caught down there. Looks like it's about £3. First decent fish I've seen. So well done that man. Don't know what it is, I can't tell. It's Joe Jagger. Well done, Joe. Looked about twice the size of that one that I got. It's hard to tell how big they are. 2-3 pound I think it was that. Right, here we go. Sit here for another 8 minutes and hope it goes around. Get in. Now I've gone to 22 metre line, and well, that lovely pull and then nothing on, and then this has gone round, and I think it's a skimmer. Round pretty quick actually. Nice roach, really nice roach. That's taking it right down as well. Proper pull. I bet that's what yanked it round earlier as well. They're nice roach, aren't they? Don't mind catching them, folks. Absolutely mint. Well, let's get back out there. I've heard about £4 winning the zone, so we'll see. We'll get a few more of them, catch them up. Well, weighing to my right, he'd only got about £2. He's just landed a £3-pounder, I think. And this has just gone round. It's changed to a slightly bigger hook and slightly bigger bait. And I think this is a decent skimmer. There we go. Oh, and it's unhooked itself. Nice one. Well, I thought it was going to be bigger than that way it went round. It was a proper bite as well, folks. On my 22 metre line. 2 little worms. I'll get back out and we'll give that another go. Right, it's an hour and 5 minutes to go. I think Joe Jagger's probably winning. I've seen a few landing nets going out there, but it's hard to tell whether it's the same angler or not. Weighing at the side of me, I think he's got at least £5, maybe a little bit more. I think Joe's got about 7. I've got 2 decent skimmers, a small skimmer, and that roach were about 6 ounce maybe. Just blew me rod that, it's just getting up a little bit, it's just changed a little bit as the wind, it's going straight down there now. I could do one of those 3 or 4 pounders, and Joe's into another one. He's switching lines, he's got 3 lines going as Joe, I think. Short line. One about, looks about 55 to 60 maybe. And one round about 35 I reckon. Maybe 40. It's hard to tell. He's doing well, is Joe. Fishing a nice match. Kev at the side of me. He's got around about the same as me, I think, roughly. He might have 1 more fish than me. But just not getting a lot of indications at all to sort of say that there's fish there. There's no liners, nothing. You just get a bite out at blue. That last one just went straight round. I thought it was going to be bigger than what it was. Let's have a look. What's that one that Joe's landing now? He's taking his time. Might be a decent one. This could be a zone. Yes, I think it is a decent one. This could be a zone winning fish, this. Yeah, he's putting a scrap up. Oh, look, let's... £1 and a bit, maybe £1.50 maybe, so he's got to have about £8.5 I reckon. He's definitely winning his own. I've heard that there's £7 or so, or about half an hour ago, £7 or so further down. A couple of big fish lost. Jordan Scott, I think he'd had £6 or £7 last I heard. So again, we're chasing, but anything can happen in this last hour. 2 decent bream and you're up there. So it's not all over. Not all over just yet, but it's not looking great. That's been in 9 minutes now. Not had any indications. So it's smacking the same hole. Fairly quickly as well. Not an indication. And that's just Southfield for you. You'd think there'd be another one there, wouldn't you, when you've had one. So we're just hoping something decent will turn up, folks. This short line's been better than the long line. I had a couple of little rattles on the long line. Nothing decent at all. So there we go, that's your update. Last hour. Let's hope some fish turn up, folks, eh? Come on, the breams. Right, we're all weighed in, folks. Well, I've not weighed in. I got fish gate. The guys to my left and right both had a big bream apiece. Both fish were bigger than all 5 of my fish. I might have had a couple of £1, 2.5, something like that. Thought I'd do it in here because I'm just, oh, we're away. Stuck in a traffic jam. Lines I picked, 22, 42. Guy to my left was 30, 44 I heard him say, something like that. Guy to my right, he's fished quite short most of the day, probably about 30 metres or so, maybe 35. No indications whatsoever for an hour. When I have fed it from the off, I've not put a lot of particles in. I've mainly put ground bait in. I've tried it with lots of particles. Again, Southfield, I think it's a case of if they're there in front of you now. The guy to my right said they're having liners right from off. I had a liner with 5 minutes to go and it never went. I had a few little jabs for roach, things like that. I had one decent pull were actually on corn. It looked like a proper bream bite. Nothing. Went back out again. Then I had that decent roach. So I've had 4 skimmers and that decent roach. The skimmers were about 10 ounce a piece, maybe a little bit more, I don't know. So not a lot of weight. So I've not bothered weighing in. Do apologise, folks. I would normally weigh in, but I'd rather save the weigh-ins some time. I know I paid me money, but I think the guy to my right with that bream had £5 something, and the guy to my left with that bream, and he had a few skimmers as well just straight after that bream. I think he's weighed 8, but his bream looked, it was the biggest one I've seen, the biggest one of the day that I saw. It looked a good £4 plus. So you know, one decent bream you weigh in £5-6, which is, you know, anybody that's had a bream, that's what they've weighed in. Joe Jagger, I thought had got quite a lot. He's only weighed £6 something. And I've alternated the lines. I've gone from red worm, single maggot to 3 maggots, pinkies. I've tried a bit of corn, which I did have 2 bites from, but that was it. Never felt like I were really going anywhere. When I've had any numbers of fish there, you can tell you get these tiny little liners and things, and then it'll go. And I've had none of that today. Bites have just come straight out of the blue. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why do you go there? What is it with this bream and skimmer fishing? You've always a chance there. You'll get, if you end up with 10 fish and 2 or 3 of them are those bream, you qualify. Andy Renton, he's fished 9 others. His 10th go today. Actually, I think he's fished 8 others in this last one. And he's had a couple of decent bream and some skimmers, and he's ended up with £13 odd. So Andy Renton is the winner of our zone. He's one of the organisers. Well done, Andy Renton. Absolutely chuffed for you, mate. You absolutely do deserve it. So good luck in the final. I can't tell you who else has qualified. If I get the results, I'll copy and paste it, and I'll get Edley to put the results up if I can get hold of it. So well done, Andy Renton. So I've thoroughly enjoyed the series of matches that I've got there. I always do at Southfield. Don't know what it is. It's a bit of a magnet for me, Southfield. You're always in with a shout, even right till the end, because if you land 2 big ones at end, it can just help you qualify through. It's just how Southfield is. I've had sessions where I've hardly had any fish. I've had sessions where I've had 10, 12 fish and hardly weighed anything. They've not been big enough. And, you know, that's what it is at Southfield. That's the end of the Feederking. It's the end of the feeder masters. I'm not qualified from either of them. Semi-skimmed folks, what can we say? But I've learned loads this year. Absolutely loved it. And when you're wondering how come you've learned loads, it's the feeding. It's how you have your ground bait. It's when to make changes, getting your timings right, how much feed to put in. All depends on the weather. Is the wind behind? Is it in your face? All those kind of things. Lots of different things. Different size hooks, hook lengths. The guy to my left was catching on a really long hook length today. Loads of little things that can make a difference. And hopefully one day when I put them together and make a plan, as the match is going along, you can make changes, and hopefully one day they'll all click together. Today, didn't matter what I tried today, it made no difference whatsoever. The love red worms there. I just couldn't get very many bites on red worms at all. I actually got my bites on a bigger piece of worm, a dendra, end cut off, and a maggot, and corn. Two lovely bites off corn. I always like to feed a bit of corn when I'm bream fishing, so just something for you to take on board if ever you visit Southfield. When you go pleasure fishing, folks, I've done it. I've had some cracking days pleasure fishing. As soon as all them nets are in, things change. So there you go. Thoroughly enjoyed it. What I would like to say though, folks, is a massive thank you to Andy Renton, Mick Axon, for doing an absolutely superb job running the Feederking. Feederking's a great name. I don't know who come up with that, but Everybody would love to be the Feeder King and the Feeder Master. Two belting names. Two finals I'd love to get to. It would be absolutely wonderful. And also John hopes for the absolutely wonderful buns and cakes that he brings, and the photography. He does a cracking job with photography. If you go to the New Fish Southfield Reservoir Facebook page, you'll see some of the pictures that he takes. He wishes everybody happy birthday, put some cracking pictures up. Brilliant, so thank you, John, as well. So there you go, folks. That's the end of the Feeder King and Feeder Masters for me. What is it for me next? So I'm on holiday for a week with my wife. We're going up to Scotland. She's actually booked somewhere on a lock. I might just have a few hours, a couple of early mornings. Apparently there's some big roach. I forgot what lock it is now. Loch Tay. I've not heard any bream. I've heard the breamer in Loch Lomond. But if there's roach in there, surely there's got to be a few bream. There's salmon and trout and all sorts. So I might take a few spinners as well. So nice holiday. We'll do quite a bit of trekking. Looking forward to that. Next for me, it will be a qualifier for the Golden Reel at Hallcroft. And then after those, I might make one in at Larford, we'll see. After that, we're going into the Golden Rod, Shimano Ledger Cup. That's just rattling. Shimano Ledger Cup. And Feeder Master Winter Pairs, so a busy winter as well. Love me winter fishing. I know it's freezing, but I absolutely love me winter fishing. Trying to catch those little skimmers, those little bites. Brilliant. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed the series of Feeder Kings. I shall see you on the bank in about 10 days, 12 days time, something like that I think it is. Yeah, 10 or 12 days. Might be a bit longer actually. Can't remember, it's on a Wednesday or a Saturday. Don't forget, it is absolutely free to subscribe to this channel. If you click the notification bell, you get all our videos as we upload them, and a thumbs up would be very, very nice. So until next time, folks, take care. We shall see you at Hallcroft and all the other feeder competitions with your good old mate Woody. So take care, folks. See you next time, and don't forget, fish on.